If you're using large language model here to do research on your project, then you definitely need to check out this repository called Graphify. And this repository is inspired from this X post that Andrej Karpathy wrote about the LM knowledge base. And for those who don't know who Andrej Karpathy is, he is the former director of AI at Tesla and a founding member of OpenAI. And essentially what he's saying here is that we can index our raw file here to make a large language model here to query information and also be able to maintain it. And this repository here, you can see it does exactly that. For example, let's say if you have a folder here contains code, documentations, you simply just using the Graphify command skill and it's going to convert it into a knowledge graph. And once you convert that into a knowledge graph, this will reduce the large language model token usage by 70%. So instead of having AI agent here to reading the raw files or documentations every single time, Graphify here is going to index it for you and compiles your code base into a structured knowledge graph so that the large language model here is going to be much more faster, consumes less tokens, and much more accurate when finding information from your local folders because it's harder to create in the graph. And honestly, this is mostly for people who wants to read more than write, especially for doing research or exploring new code bases. And that's why in this video, we're going to explore this Graphify repository, and we're going to see how we can be able to install this onto our local machine, how we can be able to use it, like converting our raw files here into a knowledge graph. And later on, I'm going to show exactly how we can be able to add in informations, how we can query informations, how we can be able to add this to different large language model, extracting documentations, and so much more. So by the end of this video, your large language model here can have higher accuracy, lower token consumptions, and faster output. So with that being said, if that sounds interesting, let's get into the video. Now, before we continue, I recently launched our school community where I help you to master AI agents, automations, and so much more. And that's all coming from someone who used to work as a senior AI software engineer at companies like Amazon and Microsoft. And in this community, you're going to get over 100 plus video materials like templates and workflows that I personally built and sold over 100 plus times. On top of that, you're also going to get access to our weekly live calls. And just to give you an idea, this week, we're actually running a Claude Code masterclass where we're going to dive into how to improve Claude Code's accuracy when we're going to use it to building applications. Plus, you're also going to get full community supports where you're going to get a chance to ask questions and get direct answers back. So if you're ready to level up, make sure to jump right in and I'll see you in a community. Alright, so to get started, first we're going to do here is to install the prerequisites. So right here you can see there's a couple of things we need. One is we need the Python onto your local machine, which is version 3.10 above. And simply just going to go to the python.org and it's going to install it onto your local machine. The other one here is we have is UV. And we can also use the PIPX, but I'm just going to use UV for now. So essentially what we can do here is that you can just copy the repository and pass it to Claude Code or Codex and try to have your AI agent here to install it on your behalf. But I'm just going to install this manually here. So you can see here, the first one we need to do is to install the Python and UV onto our Mac OS. So simply I'm just going to head over to a new terminal session, paste that command, and you can see it's going to install Python here and UV onto our local machine. Then the next thing we're going to do here is you can see we're going to use UV here to install the Graphify. Now UV is kind of like NPM for Python, right? So instead of having Node.js, which is using NPM, Python here is using UV. So now if I were to clear terminal and just going to do the install for Graphify, and now you can see it's going to install the Graphify NPM, or in this case, the package, onto our local machine. And then what's going to happen here is that we're going to register the skills with our AI assistant by simply just going to run the Graphify install. This way, we're going to have our skills added onto our project, which you can see here. So we have our skill install, and also it's going to be living in this .cloud folder. And then we also have the Claude.md file, which wrote on how to use the skill. And of course, if you're using different platforms, by default, the installation here is going to install on Claude Code. But if you're using Codex, you can simply just going to do the platform Codex. And if you're using OpenCode, there's also a command for that, and OpenCloud, as well as the Hermes agents. So there's tons of options if you're using different AI agents framework, so you can just follow that as well. Okay, so once we have this installed, the next thing we're going to take a look at is the commands. So scroll all the way down, you can see there's a comment commands where we're simply just going to do the Graphify dot, and it's going to build a graph for the current folder. Now, like I said, this is the bookkeeping application that I built. These are tons of folders that we have, tons of MD files or code files that we have here. And this is basically the platform that I built, which is bookzero.ai. And essentially what this platform does is using AI to help business here to manage receipts and bank statements. And here you can see there's a bunch of Codebase, which has the app, the assets, the components, the content, docs, and so much more. And essentially all I had to do here, just going to do the /Graphify dots. And what's going to happen here is that it's going to take the current folder that we have, which is huge code base. And I'm just going to do a /Graphify dots, and it's going to build a knowledge graph around this code base. So in this case, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to wait for a bit until everything is set up, and then we're going to take a look at what the result looks like. Okay, so now you can see it's asking us a question. In terms of the full map that we're trying to build, right, the full knowledge graph, should we only process the code only, or the code plus documentation, but skip images, or the full extractions including the images? So you can see that if we were to do the full extractions, that's going to take anywhere around 200K all the way to 400K tokens. But depends on what you're trying to do. If you're doing like research on the code base for existing functionalities, then my recommendation is just the first option, which is code only. If you're looking to go through the documentation as well, you can also do with the second option. But if images are anywhere that help you to do the research, then you could also do the full extraction as configured as well. But for my case here, I'm going to go something that's much more quicker and just do the code only instead. So in this case, I'm going to choose that option for now. Okay, so finally you can see the graph here is fully generated and has generated three things. One is the graph.html, which is an interactive knowledge graph that we can interact with it, which I'll show you later on in this video. And there's also the graph.reports, as well as the graph.json, which is basically the raw JSON for the graph data. So there you can see we have 17,000 for the nodes and 33 for the edges. So edges basically the connection between the nodes, and nodes are basically the individual files or individual components that we have. And you can see that for the token cost here, this is how much it costs, and this is the benchmark. So roughly you can see we're saving 27 times token reductions for any questions that we're going to ask to a large language model about our code base. So this is the impact that we have here. And you can see that these are the God nodes. God nodes are basically the edges that we have. They're basically the edge nodes that we have inside of a graph. So kind of like the children nodes, right? Which don't have any children itself. Furthermore, you can see these are the surprising connections, the suggested questions, and furthermore, you can see there's a bunch of stuff that it has find. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to navigate to the HTML, and you can see that this is the entire knowledge graph. I can simply just going to toggle on or off, or just like, let's say if I want to, I'm very interested about the admin layout. I can just toggle everything off and just show the admin layout and the API routes. And I can be able to see all the edges, all the graph, all the nodes that are connected to that relations. And by doing so, this way is much more easier for me to understand the connections for all the files, all the code that we have in our code base. And this will help me to understand or speed up the process to make me understand the code base here much more faster. And furthermore, if I were to head over to the repository back really quickly, you can see that there's a couple functionality that we can trigger. So for example, there's one functionality called path. For example, let's say if I want to know the path between two files or two functionalities that we have. One is the admin panel and the other one is AI chats. And you can see here that it's going to trigger the Graphify here. And by the end of it, you can see it's going to show us the shortest path between those two connections. So one is the admin panel and the other one is AI chats. So you can see that these are the files that it jumped through, right? To see from going from the layout for the admin all the way to the AI page. And you can see that the connection between the two is actually from the index.ts, which is a file that calling both of those layouts or both of those tx files, right? So you can see that's exactly the connection between the two. And here is the shortest path. And furthermore, there's also another functionality called explain. Like let's say if I don't know the rate limiting or how does the AI chat functionality works in our application, right? So for example, I wanted to ask it to say, hey, why don't you explain to me the inbound and outbound inside our admin console? And you can see that it's going to look through that and it's going to try to explain to you the concept based on the knowledge graph. And you can see this is the answer that it has found. So the inbound versus the outbound in the main admin here, this is the dashboard and split by two sides of the sign up. They measure. So one is the outbound analytics, which is where the visitor comes from and where they drop off. The inbound here you can see is what users do after the sign up and where they churn. So you can see this is the entire difference between the two and where they split. And you can see it gives you a clear definition of how it works. And furthermore, you can see there's also the query where let's say if you have any questions, you can also put your question here and ask about it, right? Let's say if you want to also adding additional, for example, information, like for example, I want to add a research paper onto this graph. I can also do that. But let's just say that you have added a bunch of stuff. Let's say if you want to re-extract only the change files that you have. Let's say if you modify some files here on your local machine, you have a bunch of files, not just one, not just two, but like actually like 10 or 20. Instead of just adding them one by one, what you can also do here is that you can also do graphify.raw --update, which will re-extract only the change files and add them onto our knowledge base. And that's how you can do it. There's also the Obsidian, which is really cool. Like you can also be able to generate the Obsidian vaults based on your code base. So for example, like let's say if you're interested about the docs that you have, I'm going to do this really quickly. So I'm just going to go to a new terminal and do the Claude again. And I'm just going to do the Graphify here for the Obsidian. And this time I'm going to say I'm only interested for doing this inside for our doc folder. So I only want you to touch what we have in our docs folder, which is this path right here. And I want you to do this. So you can also be able to give it a prompt and let it try to do the Obsidian parts for the docs folder. So if you don't want to do this for the entire code base, you can also do this for the entire doc folder. You can point in that and just mention that I want you to generate a Obsidian vault for this, right? So there's a lot of things you can do. There's also Wiki, there's also SVG, there's Neo for J if you want to generate like a RAG system, right? So there's a lot of things you can do. There's also like you can generate an MCP server for this so that any other large language model here can do a query for this. There's also an option for you to do that. So honestly, here you can see the possibility here is endless. And I don't want to go over this in the video, but you can see the core functionality here is you can use this to query information, to extract informations, to show the connection between the two, to help you to understand the code base here much more faster. And I'll make sure to drop this repository here in the links description below for you to check it out. And don't forget, if you're looking to up your level on how you can use Claude Code or any other coding agent here to develop applications, because we do have courses and also weekly live calls that you can check it out. So with that being said, if you do find this video, please make sure to like this video, consider subscribe for more content like this. But with that being said, I'll see you in the next video.